There are fears, however, the new FPSO at Mills may also face similar problems as we had with FPSO Kwame Nkrumah metering system, as was the case with the Kwame Nkrumah. But TEM Project Director Terry Hughes explains to Joy Business measures have been instituted to address set operational challenges on these new fields.
We've got a very high-class metering system on the Professor John Evans Atta Mills FPSO, and we've paid a lot of attention to metering based on some of the lessons that we learned in Jubilee, and we've worked very closely with the Ghana Revenue Authority, and in fact only last week they are to inspect and certify and actually lock the meters so that they could be absolutely certain that we were measuring the crude to the highest degree of accuracy. And each time we have a cargo offtake, that Revenue Authority and the Metering Authority will be on board the FPSO to make sure that everything's working exactly as we predict it to do.
Now, the faulty flow metering system of the first FPSO reportedly cost the country huge revenues as oil output couldn't be accurately ascertained. But the chief executive of the Petroleum Commission, Theophilus Aheren, also says they have made progress in ensuring every drop of oil produced is accounted for.
On Jubilee, the lessons learned were really documented very well. Under the new regulations that we are developing, what we did was to work with the current operators that even ahead of the regulations becoming law, we had worked with the partners to actually implement these. And one of the things is the fact that for TEN, the fiscal metering methodology was based on the new regulations passed. So yes, it is an enhanced methodology for fiscal metering.
Elsewhere, they have this graphic display or show of every flow. We haven't gotten there?
No, we've gotten there. You would see from the design, the methodology, what we call the tolerance ranges, the arrangement of the various fiscal meters. TEN is superb.
Now, Tullow Oil can now start working towards the export of crude from the Twineboa, Anyira, and Ntomme, also known as the 10th oil fields. This is because President John Dramani Mahama has formally turned the taps, paving the way for full commercial production.
The official commissioning by President Mahama will pave the way for Twineboa, Anyira, and Ntomme to increase daily crude production to about 23,000 barrels. This is expected to increase the total daily production of crude from Ghana's oil fields to about 140,000 barrels. That is Jubilee and TEN put together. This will go a long way to improve the financial position of Tullow after I recorded some losses over the past year. This could lead to a significant improvement in revenue from the oil sector for the country, as latest figures from the Bank of Ghana shows the total revenue from the oil sector stood at $3.3 billion as of June this year, since Ghana started exporting crude in commercial quantities from April 2011. Whilst the country has been able to save almost $900 million, there could be also more job opportunities for indigents. However, Ghanaians might have to wait a while before they start benefiting from TEN gas for power production. This is because Tullow says it can start exporting gas to their Atuabo plant, that is 12 months from now.
So we're trying to, as much as possible, to touch base, Takoradi to join George Yafi there, but the lines aren't really doing us any favor. So as and when we touch base with him, we'll bring you updates on what is exactly happening on that rig there to do with the FPSO, Atta Mills, and Kwame Nkrumah, all there. What exactly is happening? Bring you update from Takoradi as and when we touch base with George Yafi there. But meanwhile, companies and individuals who invest in the agri sector are to benefit from the enhanced tax incentives are contained in the amended tax law, with the purpose of enacting and also spreading statements. Some agri investment across the country are being given some preferential treatment right there here in Ghana. The new tax law provides for a standard 10-year tax holiday for investment in the agri sector in general. It also makes provision for a differentiated incentive based on the region of investment, a condition which did not exist in the Income Tax Law Act 896. Speaking to Joy Business on the sidelines of a breakfast meeting, Deputy Commissioner of Policy and Programs Edward Jambra said this did not exist before.
One other thing which is very good for businesses has to do with the tax rate for companies under concession. Under 896, you realize that we didn't have any tax rate for companies who are granted concession under the income tax law. I'm talking about farming, I'm talking about agro-processing, waste processing, venture capital, and so forth. And what's happened, what meant was that after the holiday or the concession period, then you have to pay tax at the standard rates. The new amendment is saying that after your concessional rate, you are given a special tax rate for the next 5 years. So if you are in agric, let's say you are in tree crop, and you have a concessional years of 10 years. After the 10 years, you don't start paying taxes at the standard rate of 25. It depends on your location. So this one, the new amendment has addressed that. And for companies in Accra, Tema, after their concession period, they will pay tax at the rate of 20%.
Now, let's get in touch with George Rafi, who is actually connecting with us from Takoradi to give us an update on what exactly is happening after the launch of this particular 10 field. George, you're welcome to the marketplace.
Thank you, John, and how are you doing?
Very, very, very good here. What do you have for us in terms of updates?
Well, as I told you earlier on, production has started, and they are working on starting exports very, very, very soon. And as we speak right now, some contracts have already been secured with some oil marketing companies to try and even export the crude as well. But for Tullow, they are quite optimistic that the start of commercial production at 10 will turn things around for them. For the president, he was also very excited that for 10, a lot more has been given to Ghanaians, even when it comes to assembling, working on the field and all those things. And that there's a lot of potential for Ghanaians to take commanding heights in the oil industry. And so those are the things that are happening. As we speak right now, production is steadily going up. And as I explained that very, very, very soon, we could see a tanker berthing around the John Ivansa Tamil's FPSO to take on some crude and export to the European market.
Okay, George, we know we had difficulty or challenges with the earlier FPSO that came in, and therefore the suggestion was that with this new one, the old one will be taken out or probably repaired here in Ghana. What is the update on those conditions as well? George, can you hear me?
I can hear you very well.
Good. I'm asking what is actually going to happen to the faulty FPSO, which they actually said that after the inauguration of this particular one, they're going to service. What is the update on the old FPSO?
Well, what I can tell you is that they are working on it right now. And what they're going to say is that what they're trying to explain to you is that there's going to be enough work on it, and basically to make sure that all the challenges are worked on and then they move on. So while Sten has come on board, they're actually working on that one, and then they'll make sure that things take shape.
Okay, any updates on gas situation here and there? Because we did hear earlier that it's going to actually be injected back down there so they can enhance oil or crude production. What is the update?
So,
on
John,
that
what can I explain to you that Tullow tells me that they are still engaging government because everything that they do on the field they need government approval. So per the original plan, they're supposed to do around 12 months. But the way they are hoping that they can bring the time forward a little bit so they can start exporting gas. When it comes to actual gas, as we speak right now, they are extracting gas. But what they want to use that gas for is actually to help to re-inject into the fields to aid exploration. So the target is 12 months, but they are hoping that they can bring it a little bit forward so they can start exporting gas to trouble.
Okay, maybe finally, we do know that the Tenfield actually holds some heavy and large reserves. Starting with, how much are they going to do? Are they going to go according to the projection they did make earlier?
Yeah, they still stand at the 80,000 barrels as the projected target of per day. So they started with 23,000. They're hoping to move it up to 50,000 a day before the close of this year. And then maybe the first part of 2017, they hit the 80,000 barrels a day.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, George, for your time here on the marketplace. So that was George Uwiafe there on our business, the monitoring event back there in Takoradi to bring us out to speed on development there. Now, moving on here on the marketplace, the top 100 companies in Ghana are to be recognized on Friday, 19th of February for their corporate excellence. This will be at this year's edition of the Ghana Club 100 Awards ceremony, scheduled to come off at the Kempinski Hotel. The annual ranking is organized by the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, GIPC. This year's event is under the theme Manufacturing Steering Ghana Development. Joy Business throws the spotlight on some indigenous manufacturing firms to ascertain their current situation following a decline in growth in recent years.
I think Ghana's manufacturing industry has come a long way. If I should say, in the past, the consumers mainly went for imported products because there was the belief that anything produced in Ghana or manufactured in Ghana was not of good quality. But I think in the past 10 to 15 years, the products that are coming out from Ghanaian manufacturers is of international standard. So I think we have improved tremendously.
That was Richard Ajay, Chief Executive of indigenous brewery company Kasapreko, painting a picture of the current state of the manufacturing sector. Kojo Dansododu, the Executive Director of Special Ice Company, producers of Special Ice sachet and bottled water, also added his voice to the issue.
We have excise duty on goods and services, which sometimes you wonder. I mean, if you're producing water and then you have excise duty on it, and then you have the VAT and you have ad valorem tax as well, it's all making the product very expensive. And in actual fact, the others, you cannot even transfer these costs to the consumer as well, you know. So it makes the foreign goods much cheaper, and then we are the ones we are losing out. To export these products out, you're actually not competitive because you're having a very bad environment when it comes to pricing, you know. So we are actually priced out of the market, I mean, in terms of exports as well.
Regardless of such challenging operating environment, local beverage manufacturers are holding their own on the international market. How exactly? Here's Kasapreko's production manager, Ato Kwanza.
In terms of soft drink, we're talking about 24 hours, 40,000 packs. For the alcoholic beverage, we produce 16,000 in 8 hours.
Kasapreko, currently we do about 30% exports of our products, mainly to the West African sub-region, but we do have some distributors in South Africa, US, and a bit of Europe. But many of our products go into the West African sub-region.
Kasapreko's Chief Executive Richard Ajay adds they are poised as indigenous manufacturing companies to drive the country's economic growth.
For a country's economy to be sustainable and to grow quickly, manufacturing is always the engine of growth. If we're able to produce a lot of stuff here, we will not need to import too many stuff, and this makes our economy more stable. And once we're able to produce a lot of stuff here, we can also send finished goods outside of the country and at least bring in some foreign exchange as well, and to let other countries know what Ghana is doing. We don't only have to send the raw materials, outside, or the resources outside. For example, like cocoa and stuff like that. If you're able to process it here, it will drive our economy.
But how could this be achieved? The executive director of Special Ice Company, Kojo Danso Dodu, believes a review of policies for the manufacturing sector should facilitate this.
I think that you have to look at the taxes again, in terms of maybe review them so that, if you are broadening the tax net, for instance, you actually going to increase the revenue for taxes and all that. So I think that you have to look at it again. Particular attention has to be paid to industries by the government in terms of some of these tariffs and all that. In some countries, you have even industries paying less than domestic consumption of utilities in general. So I think that something has to be done. We are not asking for subsidies from government or anything in terms of production and that, but at least it has to be enabling for us to be on the market.
So if the manufacturing sector is to effectively steer the country's economic development, government's role remains key, much as that of the industry players.
Now, the cosmetic industry is indeed a big business worth billions of dollars in some countries. In China, for example, the market generates $26 billion a year, making it the third biggest in the world. Here in Ghana, most of the cosmetic products are imported, while a few are produced locally. Joy Business Van's Darrell Kwao visited one of the promising cosmetic startup companies, Green Essentials, run by Ya and Imamisa Jampo, to get the story of Ketra, 10 manufacturer of soaps and creams. Let's see a repeat of the van.
How are you? Green Essentials. Yeah, welcome to Green Essentials.
Thank you very much.
This is our little factory.
Your little factory.
Yeah, it used to be my kitchen.
Not bad for a startup.
Well, you can say that. So I actually have these things here because it used to be my kitchen.
Yes, it was formerly her kitchen when she was in the business of catering, but now Ya has another use for this space, making soaps and body creams.
So this I make everything, literally. The soaps, the creams, lotions, yeah. This is where it's all done.
Is it a difficult thing to do?
I wouldn't say that. I think you just have to like doing it. I think that's what I realized that I just like doing soap. So I wouldn't say it's difficult. For me, no.
Only a few months ago, her catering business has slowed down and it was getting really frustrating. It was at that time she discovered a shower gel made from black soap, or alatosamina as it is known in the local parlance. That piqued her interest. She signed up for a course in soap making and did a lot of research on YouTube.
Few errors, actually lots of errors, but eventually we got there, and then with the help of YouTube, actually I would say, now I was able to add different things to it. So I wasn't just using what they taught to me, but I was using my own formulas and putting different oils that people normally wouldn't do. So I did the soap. First one, I was trying to use shea butter and added different oils. It came out well. Then I did just coconut, adding peppermint oil and different oils, and I called the soap the Breeze. So the soap was just something on the side, and then all of a sudden everybody wanted the soap. I gave it to friends, and then they were like, "Oh, can I have one? Oh, the soap you gave me is really good. Can I have one? The soap you gave me." So I'm like, okay, maybe I can actually just make soap and sell because everybody just wants it.
The demand for Ya's soaps and creams began to increase. She started making souvenirs and hampers for people.
When they get to hear that, it's made in Ghana?
Well, what people get to know is made in, especially with the Alata seminar, they're not too surprised, but then everybody goes like, wow, and the packaging and everything. And I'm like, yes, I do everything here. So and you do it yourself, especially with lotion, because nobody actually makes lotion. You probably get and with soap, you don't usually have people doing bath soaps. It's just soaps for washing. So people are very impressed when they see it, and the usual Ghanaian thing, oh, it's nice, it's nice.
Well, the packages are definitely nice. Ya hopes to move from her kitchen space so she can produce in mass quantities.
So what, you think that you've discovered your life career?
Oh yes, I've actually found it. This is fulfilling. it's one of those things that you do that, you know, you're not making money, you're just happy to do it. I wake up early in the morning to just go and cut my soap, make sure the kids are asleep so I can make soap, mix my lotions, try different concoctions. So yes, I think that I've found what I want to do for the rest of my life, and I hope that I can build an empire that my children will continue.
Stories like this one won us the Best SME Reportage Award at last week's SME Ghana Awards. I want to say a big thank you to the team, my cameraman Newton Goza, as well as the video editor Richard Ebobonzi. You guys are just so great. I want to say a big thank you to my boss Emma Morrison, as well as Busy, who are sponsors of this program. There's great stuff ahead in the next season of the Joy Business Van.
Also, thank you to you, Daryl Kwao, for bringing us the business van. We're taking a short break. Marketplace returns shortly with the markets. You're welcome back. This is the marketplace. So now time to look at your investment and how they're faring here in Ghana and the continent of Africa. Now we're starting from Johannesburg to check up on the FTSE JSE All Share Index, which recorded some depreciation of 103.37. It's quite been struggling to really get it on there. I'm talking the GSE All Share Index, as the year on year is still around negative 0.20% per annum. And in Nigeria, the largest economy here in Africa, recorded some gains as after trading yesterday, recorded 150 points and is currently doing negative 4.26 in terms of year-on-year returns on investors' capital there. Now, in Egypt, the EGX 30 index also marginally grew by 91.84 points as the year-on-year still leading the African market chart as it returns positive 18.35% per annum, and the Moroccan All Share Index also marginally depreciated or shrunk by 7.93 points and is currently around positive 11.01% as it returned to their investors year on year. And in Kenya, the Nairobi All Share Index also marginally grew to almost about 0.30% and is currently around negative 1.21% as the year on year performance on the market. Still on the African continent, we're looking at Tunisia and its Tune Index, the standard which measures the performance of that particular market of the country, which is recording negative 14.02 and is currently in the regions of positive 6.63 points as its year-on-year performance there. And now back here at home, currently the composite index of the Ghana Stock Exchange is recording about 0.11 and is currently doing 9.52% in the negative. Quite a significant performance if you ask me. It's actually rallied way back there from 15.25 in the negative region now to almost about by about 9.52% per annum. And look, moving on to the Francophone regions, where the BRVM also composite index recorded some gains of about 0.09% and currently recording negative 5.55 for its investors year on year basis. Now finally on the African continent, Mauritius's Semidex also declined by 4.39 and is currently recording positive 0.82 points to its investors at year on year yields there. Now looking at Ghana and how it did perform yesterday on the Ghana Stock Exchange, it had a total volume of about 272,473 as against 46,648 in terms of volume at a value of 325.412 thousand Ghana cedis, and that marginally improved the market capitalization to 54,811.58 million Ghana cedis. An impressive performance then that brought the composite index almost an appreciation of 13.32 as against the 18.43 appreciation of the financial index, which is currently also recording negative 9.95 from the ranges of 16 some months ago. So exactly that is how. Now moving on to the international market to look at how the commodities are faring. Ghana's interest in the commodity market is recording some appreciable gains there, as crude oil currently is gaining 18 cents and is trading around $45.92, and gold, after recording $11, is currently trading around 1,352.1 17 cents per ounce, and gold is currently gaining 20 cents and is trading around $3,026. Now, let's do some currency and see how the Ghana cedi is faring against the top 5 major trading currencies. Against the US dollar, the cedi is losing as I speak. Against the British pound, it's losing. Against the euro, losing. Against the Chinese yuan, and also losing against the CFA franc. So let's see how the day ends on the market here, especially the currencies, the commodity, and the equities market here. So that's exactly how your markets are faring. This is where we bring down the curtain on today's edition of the Marketplace. My name is John Kojo Amoako. You can still stay interactive. Our Twitter handle is Joy Business GH, and on Facebook we are at Joy Business. For more business stories, you can also log on to myjoyonline.com/business. My name once again is John Kojo Amoako. Have a very good afternoon.